basic understanding goes, like in principle, both are same. Okay, there is no difference between TAT and picture perception. Absolutely no difference. Okay, there are very basic minimal difference. That in picture perception, you are supposed to understand how many number of characters are there. Okay, and after understanding those characters, you are supposed to pinpoint their location, considering the frame of the square box as to frame of the picture. Okay, then you are marking those location in terms of their gender, age and mood, right? So you can, for the easy conception, you can understand gender, age and mood is game. Okay, something like that, GAME, gender, age and mood. Okay, so you are supposed to mark that location in a vertical manner by writing gender, age and mood against that location. Understood? So this is one difference. Another difference is in picture perception, you are supposed to write a action. Okay, in front of action, you are supposed to write the title of the story. Okay, so these minus of these two things, everything is same. The balance thing is story writing, right? Story writing is absolutely same.
Yes.
Okay. Now, once you're talking about perception and other things, and people are getting over focused and by looking for what is perception, how the picture to be perceived and all. So that's a science. Okay. Science is about कि जो भी आप लिखोगे वहां पर वो कहां से आ रहा है, आपके अंदरूनी दिमाग से ही आ रहा है ना. आप कुछ भी सोचते हो, जब आप पिक्चर को देखते हो तो पिक्चर में देख करके आप कुछ सोचते हो ना. हाँ या ना, सब लोग समझ रहे हैं? एवरीबॉडी अंडरस्टैंडिंग? तो कुछ सोचते हो, व्हाट इज दैट? टेक्निकली दैट इज उद्देश्य, आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है ना. आप जो एफर्ट डालने वाले हैं, जो पिक्चर, जो स्टोरी लिखने वाले हैं, अल्टीमेटली इट इज गोइंग टू रिजल्ट इनटू सम आउटकम, इजंट इट? तो वो आउटकम सोच करके आप अपनी पिक्चर बनाते हैं. यू आर टेकिंग दिस एज अ फीडबैक फॉर हेल्पिंग द ग्रुप इन कमिंग टू अ कॉमन कंसेंसस, राइट? So that is what matters a lot. Okay, your affiliation to the group, your group concern, आप कितना डेडिकेटली ग्रुप के लिए कर रहे हैं वहां पर काम, rather than having a performance anxiety कि मैं क्या अच्छा बोल पा रहा हूं या मैंने कोई स्टोरी अच्छी नहीं लिखी थी, now I'm getting affected, my performance, now future performance is getting affected. So that is nervous candidate, right? So that is being seen. And how much you contribute effectively in the discussion test after the individual narration, when you effectively communicate, take the other's point also, because you are a good listener rather than a speaker. So आपने अपना समय लेकर के ग्रुप का टाइम यूज किया ना, 16 मिनट का टाइम में आपने भी कंट्रीब्यूट किया. तो अब जब ग्रुप डिस्कशन टेस्ट हो रहा है, तो दैट इज अ टाइम you should not take other spell in talking about your only story, right? So you already, people have heard you. Now you must contribute what you understood out of others' narration. Okay, so that is the aim, and how you are putting up efforts there. You are modulating your voice, connecting with the individuals in the team. वो matter करता है ज़्यादा, right? Now I have gone little bit of extra, but ultimately speaking, picture perception and the TAT, technically story writing is absolutely same. The concepts are absolutely same. Okay?
Once you are going in SSB, the majority of the chances that you will make it through, the best chances I should say, is when you are fresh out. That is a period when there are maximum chances that you are likely to get recommended. But I'm not saying these are the only chances. There are a lot of people who come second time, third time. Like I have seen people who have attempted 11th and 17th time and got recommended. But this is with the people who are determined, who are continuously putting an effort and trying to improve their service. Otherwise, after few conference out or screen out, people give up. This should not happen. Yes, repeaters are slightly treated differently for the basic reason that when you are dealing or when you are appearing for an interview or a psych test, you are appearing as an individual, as a single person. Interview, obviously, you are giving your interview as a person to the interviewing officer. For psych test, you are appearing in a group but writing your own responses as an individual. Whereas in group testing, most of the time, you are in a separate batch. We try and make a different batch for repeaters as far as possible, but in some occasion it happens that if the repeater numbers or the fresher numbers are not good enough to make a batch, we mix the repeaters with freshers. But we keep into consideration that the number of freshers are more in a batch. The reason is very, very obvious that the repeaters have an experience of appearing for SSB. They are aware of a lot of things that are likely to be happening or which are happening in a particular test. So this particular aspect matters a lot for a GT, for group testing, when they are mixing with the people who are fresh. So for this reason, they are tried and kept in a separate batches. However, testing wise, there is no different. Assessment wise, there is no different. You are tested in a similar manner as the freshers are tested. You are assessed in a similar manner as the freshers are assessed. So that people should remove from their mind. A lot of people have got a feeling, लोगों को ये लगने लगा है कि repeaters को अलग से cater किया जाता है. ये नहीं है. Repeaters are also catered in a similar manner. Repeaters और freshers हमारे लिए एक है. The only thing is mixing is kept limited. Otherwise, कई बार ऐसे होता है कि repeaters become overbearing onto freshers. And for freshers, a particular event is happening for the first time. So they should be feeling very, very open because GT is a leaderless group. Everybody is permitted to speak and put their own responses. Now, freshers who have already undertaken the test once are aware of a lot of things, and definitely the confidence level is slightly more compared to repeaters. So to avoid this, they are generally kept separate, or if the mixing is there, they are mixed in a manner that the group is overburdened by freshers and not by repeaters. So freshers are given more weightage in that, only to make a grade, only to make a group, not for assessment. Assessment remains same for everyone. Question chances doesn't reduce. My first statement that I gave, I said that the majority of the chances for you to make up to SSB is your first chance. It doesn't mean that later on chances reduce. However, the more time you get conference out or screen out, some amount of confidence gets shattered. This should not happen to people. Since I said, and most of the time it happens, the repeaters, they make their mind very, very rigid. Remember, if you have a rigidity in your mind, a lot of responses are not going to be your original responses. So these are some of the reasons that, the repeaters are feeling that they will not be able to make it. But we have seen, as I told some time back, that I have known people who got not screening, who got recommended and came to merit even after 17th attempt. So they were continuously determined and they were making effort, and their responses used to be, in fact, in some of the cases we have seen, they remained borderliner for quite a bit of time. There were people who got recommended number of times and thereafter they got screened out. So these things happen. Finally, remember, it's a test of personality. We are not giving any marks to anyone. It's a personality test. So the surrounding, the environment that you're in that particular time matters a lot. Once you get screened in, obviously the confidence level goes up, and it is very, very basic. I tell everyone that your first attempt should be to get screened in, because आप screening ही नहीं होगे, so how can you progress ahead in the further 5 days of testing? And everything should be concentrating on that particular thing which is going to happen. पहला मेरा रिकमेंडेशन होगा पीपी एंड डीटी. सो माय एम शुड बी मैं स्क्रीन इन कैसे हो जाऊं. Recommendation will come later. So once you are screened in, thereafter think on the test that are likely to come, and most probably the first test after getting screened in is psych test. So phase by phase, once you are going for psych test, forget about all the things which are going to be coming. Your mind should be fresh at that particular time. Most of the selection boards, they conduct psych test when the candidates are free of any other worries. So basically, it should happen with a fresh mind, and the best time for fresh mind is mornings. Some of the places, because of time restraint or other administrative hassle, they do conduct it in the same day. But remember, it will add up to your mental and physical stress. But that is not limited to Gulshan Kumar. That will be to all the candidates who are appearing. If about 60 got screened in, तो वो 60 के लिए condition same रहने वाली है. Now 60, the mental and physical stress which was there of the entire day, we understand that you have traveled from place X to SSB. Physical stress body हो जाती है, mental stress भी रहता है, and that worriness of performance is going to be there. So ये सब चीजें तो होंगी, बट ये सबके लिए होंगी. कुछ के लिए कम होंगी, कुछ के लिए ज्यादा होगी. Now, how do you handle this stress, physical and mental, matters a lot. And the boards are aware of it, that what is the time we are conducting this test. So this is the first aspect of the psychological test. You have to perform, because कोई इस पे दो राहें हैं नहीं. ये सबके लिए होने वाला है टेस्ट. ये नहीं है कि इंटरव्यू पहले हो गया तो गुलशन कुमार का पहला इंटरव्यू हो गया और मोहित वाज लेफ्ट लेटर, मोहित वाज फ्रेश ऑन नेक्स्ट डे. नो, दैट्स नॉट इट. सबके लिए साइक टेस्ट तो एक साथ ही हो रहा है. सबके लिए जो स्टिमुलस है वो सेम है, तो रिस्पांस जैसे है वो सभी का रिस्पांस होगा. नाउ कमिंग टू नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ इट, some go for interview, some go for GT. Now here your performance will definitely matter, because now you're away from that particular physical stress जो एक दिन पहले था वो उससे निकल के आप आगे आ गए. So ये ज्यादा मैटर फिर आगे करता रहेगा. Now performance will matter here. GT के बारे में भी बात कर रहे थे हम. मेरे को कपिल also told about PP and DT में वो discussion वाला part. Now see, group testing, as the name suggests, it's a group testing. You are getting tested as a member of a group. So as a member of a group, you are tested. Whatever query you raise while performing in a group are sorted out in the confirmatory series, which is later you are tested as an individual. So initially as a group member, thereafter individual, and back to the final series. So here the performance of a candidate as a member, active or a dynamic member of a group matters. So GTO is looking for that. That individual is performing, he is associating himself to the group. Now a group here means an organization. So how nicely you are performing in this particular group will also define how nicely you are going to be performing in an organization. So we are working with that perspective in mind. Now here the organization is armed forces. You may be doing excellent in corporate, you may be doing very well in your school or colleges, but the requirements of armed forces are totally different. So we look forward towards those particular aspects, and you are aware about the OLQs and things. So we have got a template available with us, and we, while the testing is on, every aspect is seen with respect to those templates as to where this candidate fit. And that's how the assessment continues for group testing. Coming to interview, most of the things you would have heard or the interview officer asks, you are aware of it. Most of the thing, the initial part questionnaire which is there, it is all about you. And thereafter, obviously, things increases. He wants to know more about your college, what are the projects that you have done, what are you doing in your organization, how much is the motivation to join armed forces. If you are planning to join Navy, are you aware about the Navy, Naval Chief, Navy commands, what are the tools that are available to them, what are their fighting logistic supports, I mean to say the aircraft carriers, the ships, frigates, the aircrafts, the submarines, similarly towards Air Force and Army. So are you aware? So motivation, an interview officer will see from these aspects कि अगर आप motivated हो तो आपने इन सब चीजों को जानने के लिए कितना effort लगाया, ये बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करेगा. If you are a child of a person who has served in armed forces or whose parents are presently working in armed forces, आप किसी फौजी के बेटे हो या बेटी हो, तो आपने अपने पिताजी के साथ किन किन जगह पे आपने पिताजी के साथ किन किन जगहों को देखा है, वो आपको कुछ याद पड़ता है. आपके पिताजी ने क्या किया था, आपके पिताजी का काम क्या था, क्या इन सब चीजों को जानने में आपने इंटरेस्ट लिया, ये सारी बातें बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करती है इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस. So basically he is talking about the various environment that you have stayed, you have grown through, starting from your family to your school to your college to the organization, your friend circle, your teachers, parents, everything he is wanting to know. And this tells him a lot of things in the case that I told you about GT. GT uses his own tools. Interview officer uses his questionnaire as a tool to know the OAQs. And thereafter they define how nicely the people are going to be coming out. Now, the performance you said, how should I get recommended, is the performance in all these aspects. Remember, getting recommended and cleared by one technique, that is only psych, only GT or only interview, may recommend you as a candidate, but may not get you through the merit because number आपके थोड़े short हो. ठीक है? तो aim should be, आज मैंने psych test किया है, बहुत अच्छी तरह से किया है, या नहीं हो पाया अच्छी तरह से, कल का टेस्ट में बहुत अच्छा करूंगा. Because now it has happened, so you should leave that worry. Now your worry should be कल का टेस्ट में मैं अच्छा करूंगा. Similarly वो टेस्ट हो जाता है, नेक्स्ट टेस्ट में अच्छा करूंगा. होता क्या है, हम पिछला टेस्ट में कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिया या किसी की बात हमने सुन ली. Somebody says कि यार मैंने तो SRT ना पूरे करे. You will say यार मैंने तो 45 ही किए, मैंने तो 50 किए. Now you will be under stress. You will talk to 5 people. They will say कि यार हमने तो 60 किए. You will be in worry कि यार मैं तो 50 ही कर पाया. Nothing to worry about it. You have done it. खत्म हो गया वो. अब आगे बढ़ना है. This worry should not spoil your further testing. A lot of people do not come up out of the performance that they have done. Similarly, if you do very well, you should not be in the 7th heaven. कर दिया है मैंने, अच्छा है, अब मैं बाकी में भी अच्छा करूंगा. ठीक है? And basic is knowledge level. Please increase your knowledge level. I'm telling you, if you have good knowledge, you will be confident talking to the interviewing officer. You will be confident in writing down your stories. You will be confident in a group discussing and as an individual. So अपना knowledge base raise करो. It's very, very, very easy at your stage. A lot of things that is asked in the selection board is the thing that you have already known, but it is not coming out at that particular time because refresh नहीं किया उसको. तो थोड़ा सा मेहनत करोगे, you will refresh and you will be able to perform well.